I'm Damian Barrett and welcome to the 2018 wash-up for the Brisbane Lions, brought to you by Karcher. Callum Twomey and Matthew Lloyd are with me. And Lloydie, we heard it all year. The Lions are the best 5-win team to ever be in the comp, but is that accurate?
They may well be, Damo. I'm not sure it's a record or a tag you want to have. The best 5-win team in the comp. They'd want to be, hopefully, next year the best 11-win team in the comp or something like that. But what I loved about them, Beam, Zorko, Martin, couldn't have got any more out of them. And then the kids just kept coming through. So a good vibe there at the moment.
It did get talked about a lot. It took them a while to win a game, and they were the best winless team for a long time. I think they've had a honeymoon period which has gone on longer than most clubs get.
They're about due to really step up, aren't they? And they need to do that next year.
They do. Cal, we start with the highlights in these wash-ups?
Yeah, we do. And the highlight for this season has definitely been the kids, as Lloyd mentioned. Alex Witherden here, he could finish in the top 2 of the Rising Star this week. Hugh McCluggage has come on with saying why he was a top 3 pick and in the contention to be a number 1 pick in his draft year. Cam Rayner was a star as well. Jared Berry just took on that tagging role and showed why he could be a really dominant player of the competition. Eric Hipwood, Harris Andrews. There's just some real depth there in terms of the youngsters coming through at all ends of the ground, all over the ground. There's through the midfield, through the back line. Hipwood's a star. There's a lot to build around.
I was down in Tassie for this one, Cal. It was just a ripper win. And what I love about it is how happy they seem to be coming up together, Damo. So I think it's been smart recruiting where they've drafted them from, Cal, haven't they?
Yeah, they've obviously targeted the country kids, knowing that they're going to have to move away. They've had the retention issues in the past, so it's really working well.
Yep. I've gone specifically with a couple of highlights in the one game, and in a 5-second patch. In round 18 against Adelaide, you had this situation here where Josh Walker flies high for a Mark of the Year discussion topic, and then he bombs it, or actually gives it to Daniel Rich, who then bombs it in long for one of those players you just mentioned, Cam Rayner, who then did this. I raise it just as much to highlight Chris Fagan's licence to these players to do that. It's not every club would be able to play like that, but they've clearly had the licence to do so.
I love the fact that Cam Rayner's in his first year and he's going for these grabs, and that shows the type of player he's going to be in the future, just going from the confidence and the ability to do that.
Yeah, my low light, Damo, in the low light section is also just the way they lost the close ones. I look at Melbourne and how they've lost a lot of close ones, and now they've become the team they've become. If Brisbane want to be the team they want to get to next year, you've got to start winning some of these games, and that's just not by chance. That is becoming a habit there where they can't get over the line, missing shots late and all those sorts of things. And also Dane Zorko, I've got as a low light, not being able to handle the tag, and also the way he withtook Miller, that was ugly.
It wasn't great, was it?
No, it was terrible.
No, it wasn't. And just extending your theme there with the close losses, Cam Rayner, who we've already talked about glowingly in this short period of time on the wash-up.
You're going to burn him now.
Well, you have to, Cal. We call it the way we see it. This is the game that you highlighted there, Lloydie. They lost that game there to the Gold Coast Suns in the first Q clash. He had a chance at goal. And again, later in the season against North Melbourne. And again, we know he's a young teenager who's had an outstanding year, but these are moments that he is going to learn from.
Is that just a panic moment there, Lloydie?
Yeah, I think it is. He just kicked the most beautiful set shot only seconds beforehand, then he did that moments later. He just had a bit of a break.
Now, the industry's talked them up. A lot of people giving them high marks for what was a 5-win season. How do we see them this year?
4 for mine, Damo. It was a good year, but not a great one.
4 for me too, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to continue the theme there of a 4. So straight 4s there. So fail by way of the out of 10 mark. Who cleaned up for the Brisbane Lions in 2018, Kel?
Well, they went really hard at Charlie Cameron in last year's off-season. He was excellent for them before injury struck. They gave up a first-round pick for him last year, and he was terrific. He kicked 17 goals in 11 games before he did hurt his foot against North Melbourne in round 11. The Crows really missed him, and they really added some real pace and vibrancy to their midfield and forward line. It was targeted recruiting. He wanted to go there. And that shows, I think, the signs that people actually want to go and play for them, and people like the way they're playing their footy. So Charlie Cameron, for me, was a really great find. Yeah,
he's one of the reasons I think they can win maybe 10 games next year, up from the 5 they won this year. For mine, Stephen Martin. It's been the year of the ruckman this year with Brodie Grundy and Max Gawn just dominant. 2 of the best seasons I've ever seen. And this man's probably hasn't been mentioned as much because of those 2 dominant ruckmen, but he's just been a brilliant player for a long, long time for the Brisbane Lions.
It has been a long time, hasn't it, in the context of his career?
Yeah, I think he's one of best and fairest up at Brisbane, and just gets the job done. Big disposal winner, obviously dominant around the ground. So come a long way since his days at Melbourne when he was a backman.
Yes, we always have a look at who's under pressure at these footy clubs when we do the wash-ups, and I'll kick the ball off here with Sam May, someone who was taken really high a few years ago. Cal, you know
he was
out
of South Australia, and he stuck with them when they were losing a lot of players. He's stuck with them now. He's out of the favour, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, just dropped away. Only played the 6 games this year, and others at the club have gone past him, clearly.
I don't know what his trick is. That's what I have to say to him. These other young blokes got weapons. I'm not sure what May's weapon would be at the moment.
No, he can run, but it's not really got him spot in the team at the moment. I think a couple of guys who've also been gone past are Ryan Bastanak, Tom Bell, Jack Frost. These recycled guys that at the moment look like the youngsters have gone well past them. There's a bit of cloudness around their futures at the club, I'd say, at this point.
Well, do you like to lighten these wash-ups up? Can you do so with the Lions?
I do. We've got the Robinson from the Brisbane Lions, and we saw what he had to say a few weeks back about the Gold Coast Suns. Well, sometimes he didn't need to say anything. Watch this towards the umpire. He's a man of few words until he needs to sledge. Look at that. He's a funny character, this man.
If only he said that last on the radio.
Right.
Now, got areas for improvement for the Lions. Chris Fagan needs to have himself and others around him look after him. He managed to tear a hamstring off the bone effectively when he did this great act for the great MND cause during the year. But he can get worked up in the box. I quite like it. I think it shows who he is. But this was the man, Lordo, who once put a calming and reassuring hand on the back of Alistair Clarkson for a number of years at Hawthorn. Calm down, Clark.
Yeah, I know. I think David Noble should probably take that role up with Chris Fagan, because doesn't do anyone any favours. It's good for us to watch, but it's not helping anyone in that box. Poor Danny Daly. He's got to pick up the drink bottles as well for him.
He's very contracted, and that's the right call. He's there. He's now got another 3 years to work it out, and he will.
On the field, I think they need another key forward. We've spoken about Eric Hipwood and his development and progress, and he looks like being a really long-term player for them. But Dan McStay's hit and miss. Josh Walker's better as a defender, I think, than a forward. I don't mind what I've seen of Oscar McInerney so far, but still, it's limited supply. And
is Harris Andrews the option? He's been tried at various stages lately.
I love him as a defender. He just gives them so much solidarity back there. So I don't think they'd do that. But if they can find one on the open market, then go for it.
Yeah, for mine, it's pace out of the back line. I look at it, Hodge, Witherden and obviously Gardner all probably lack a little bit of leg speed. So someone, just wonder whether a Jaden Hunt from Melbourne.
He's been out of favour a little bit. Hasn't been able to really cement his spot there, has he?
But his skills do hurt him. So I think they've got to look on the open market for someone with a bit of speed.
OK, 5 wins out of 2018. Time to work out where they're going to finish next year.
They'll win more games, possibly 9 to 11, but I've gone safe 12 to 14, damn it.
I think they're going to put him in at 12 for me.
Yeah, I'm going in the same range. I'm not as buoyant about them as some are, but I think that's a realistic.
How many wins
next year? They've got, as Lloyd says, they've got to push up to 9 or 10 as a minimum, and I reckon that will probably see them out. That's where they are. So, Cal, Lordo, thank you, and thanks for watching the wash-up for the Brisbane Lions in 2018.